Before we get started, I would like to clarify that Asperger's syndrome is a form of autism more likely associated with autism spectrum disorder, which is high-end autism, and is associated with social, developmental, and behavioral deficiency. And I would also like to clarify that it's because you have a disorder or a deficiency does not give you an excuse to act the way you do or have these tantrums or, you know, be a jerk or, be antisocial or whatnot, because Asperger's is something that to overcome. It's not like a mental illness. It's not like a terminal illness. It's not a disease. It's something in which you can overcome your symptoms on a daily basis. So even as a person with Asperger's, you are going to have your good days. You're going to have your bad days. You're going to have your days where you don't feel like being around people. You don't feel like going out there and, socialize and all the other stuff. You want to feel like your energy is at below zero. But that's just pretty much the same as those who don't have Asperger's, right? Because they have their good days and they have their bad days, but they have to deal with it. So, in me, I'm an adult, I'm a college student, and I got a job, and it's overwhelming, but at the same time, I can overcome, these obstacles on a daily basis. So, whenever I engage in a conversation with my friends, sometimes, every now and, well, I don't want to say every now and then, maybe, half the time, I would say certain things that would leave people questionable, and I would just pretty much explain what I'm talking about and why I say it. And whenever I'm in a group of people, it'll be like 5 of us or 6, 7, 8 of us, and one person says something and it's a joke, I'll be the last person to get to understand that it's a joke. Meaning, in other words, they will say something and they'll just tell a joke, and then I would think that it's that this person's being serious and that he's not joking, and that everybody else would laugh. And then it would take, like, sometimes I'll just figure out that it's a joke, but other times I would just ask, what is it that makes it so funny, and they'll just break it down. So I guess just watching movies is it's pretty much a tool to be able to engage in a normal conversation with people, or even initiate a conversation with people. It's just, in movies, I like to look at it as like a portrayal of real life. People socialize in movie just like in real life. People gesturize just like people in real life, and the dialogue and stuff like that. It's like a wonderful tool in order for me to, engage in a conversation or whatnot. And with the facial expression, it's just, whenever I talk to a stranger, like someone I don't even know, I've noticed I've done this, that I would just have my hands on my pockets and I'll have this poker face, so to speak. And the poker face, it's because, let's say somebody says something and that is considered impressive. Normally you'll have this impressive look in your face, like you're impressed and you're in awe, and that, in a tone of your voice, and that you sound impressed. Like, oh wow, I am impressed. Wow, and kudos to you. But I would just have this sarcastic type tone in my voice, and I don't mean to, but I really am impressed, that you get, straight A's, or that you are, in the MVP, or you made Employee of the Year for 2 years in a row. That it's just something. If I'm impressed, I don't necessarily show it for the most part, but I would just actually tell them that I feel impressed. But like I said, when I watch movies, and then sometimes I'll be mouthing the dialogues, and when they engage in a conversation, just and just kind of take notes on the gestures and the facial expressions and other stuff. But it only works when I engage in a conversation with my friends, or a group of people that are my friends, or a group of people that I know. But whenever I'm, like I said, whenever I'm talking to somebody I don't even know, and this is my first time I ever saw this person, I would have this poker face and have my hands in my pockets, and my posture, how I'm standing or how I'm sitting, I just avoid having these showing any body language, because I don't want them to take it the wrong way, and that they're going to feel like I'm a jerk, or they're going to think I'm an a-hole, that kind of stuff. But in a social conversation, it's kind of hard to engage, especially initiate a conversation. It's kind of hard to find the words. Okay, let's just say this. If a neurotypical person, which neurotypical are those who don't have Asperger's, can read my mind and know what's in my mind, it would make sense to them. Because how I visualize things and how I think of things, it makes perfect sense. But when it comes out of my mouth, and when I say it, they just become confused in how and what I say, and how I say it. And like I said, the tone of my voice, sometimes they would just think I'm being sarcastic, or they would just think that I'm being this jerk or whatnot. But I'll have to break it down and say, no, it's because I got Asperger's, and that it's hard for me to show that I'm to have this expression on my voice and on my face, and that I'm not trying to be a jerk or being an a-hole. I really am impressed. I really am engaged in the conversation, and I really am just impressed or pleased or surprised or whatnot, and I'm really joyous to be in the conversation. So like I like watching movies and watching TV shows, and see people in a conversation, and when they talk to strangers and how they engage in a conversation with them, it kind of helps me. And I will just practice just my facial expressions, and I just pretty much before I meet up or have an interview for my job, I would just kind of close my eyes, take a deep breath, and count to 10. I literally count to 10, and just think about the positives, and show that I could be able to overcome my symptoms, and show that I am worth being being a part of your firm or whatnot. So, well, that's pretty much all I have for this video. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Many smiles, positive, and embrace the positive, and people reaching their goals. Take care.